Howdy gamers, it's me, Blue Raspberry Gaming here, with our EX11 Dawn of the Liberator set review. We're looking at the newest set, came out today? Today of this video? It's the, I don't know why they call it Dawn of Liberator, it should be like Dusk of Liberator, because I think this is the end, in my professional opinion, of the Liberator cards. We have one more big bombastic set, and I could be wrong, but this really does feel like the end, and then maybe they'll be relegated to like promos and a little bit here and there. But we had like three major Liberator sets, and this one it's interesting, I'll say the least. For a collective purpose, it's got a lot of alt arts, a lot of fun things. They've got these gold cards for all the guys like partners, all level 3s and 4s. They've got these manga rares. A lot of interesting shit. But the main bit of the set is we're giving every like novel liberator another line because they've been neglected, so they're gonna get full lines. And then we have Big Daddy Zeph and the new evil McQuenamon support. So let's dive right in. And of course, we're starting with Big Daddy Zeph. He's got maybe the best support here. So Terramon, when moving on play, love when moving effects. They're so strong. They're so strong. But you may suspend one Digimon if this effect suspended one of your Digimon with trait, gain 3,000. Cool, and then your turn when this Digimon deletes something by battle, it can gain a memory. Fine. On play when Digivolving, suspend a Digimon. All turns, when any of your Digimon suspend, if you have one or fewer tamers, you may play a Shoto from hand without paying the cost. And you're seeing that inherit again, even on the Galemon of the delete something but battle, gain a memory. Nice. The Grand Gale, level 5. He is the standard Liberator Warper. That is, if you have a Tamer and the level 3, you can warp into this for 3 by tucking the level 4 for cost of 3. And then when Digivolving, you can suspend a Digimon. Then you may play one 3k or lower green Digimon with trait from your hand without paying the cost. Then for each suspended Digimon, you can add 1,000 to this effect. So you could maybe play something bigger, but I don't know how often you're gonna get a lot. Like, I guess you could do this if you have just one other suspended thing. You could play him, and then he could do shit. But I don't know. Maybe can you get up to 11k? I guess I was gonna say, can you get to play medieval? But medieval is not a avian bird, so sad. The new Zeph. He is piercing vortex blocker, so keywords, love him. When digivolving, you may unsuspend one Digimon, then may suspend one Digimon. All turns, when any of your Digimon suspend, you may play a 3k or lower green Digimon card with Avian Bird from your hand. For each suspended Digimon, add 2k, so it's just the same as this, but now you can probably get something bigger. Let's save you for a second. They get their Vortex, gets its emblem, unique emblem, Guardian Vortex. It's the same as all the other emblems, but I like that this one includes Muchomon, so you can play a Terramon or Muchomon. Nice. Or a Shoto. And then, whenever you suspend a Shoto, you can Digivolve up for 3, reduced. And then Shoto, an SR Tamer. We've got a couple SR Tamers in this set, so he better be fucking good. So he's a memory setter. And then all turns, when any Digimon suspend, by suspending this Tamer, if an effect suspended a Digimon, draw 1. So do that if an effect, and then after you get the rest. After one of your Digimon with blah 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 trait suspends, it gains 3k until your opponent's turn. That's fine. So it's just giving DP when something suspends. The important effect is the second effect. While your opponent has no suspended Digimon, Vortex can also attack the player. This is a game changer. I think this is a great card for this deck. I don't play this deck, but I think just this is really, really strong because its biggest weakness before was if your opponent knows what you're doing, they just know when to not push up, right? And just leave you with nothing to do. And if you can't interact with my board, you can't really do stuff. A lot of the inheritables are still like gain a memory when you delete something or that and like piercing and shit. But at least now you can vortex on an empty board. and swing for game. And that's nice. That's really strong. So now, our first secret rare of the set, Vortex Dramon. He's a new big level 7 snake motherfucker. He has all the Liberator level 7 stuff if he can go over the level 5 for a cost of 6 if you have a tamer. He has Piercing Vortex Blocker. This guy, let me tell you, this guy's crazy. If you don't have your Vortex stuff, sorry, because you'll be missing out. Because this is a crazy card. When Digivolving and attacking, you may suspend one Digimon. If this effect suspended your Digimon until your opponent's turn ends, they can't be affected by Digimon effects, so he's protected from Digimon effects and gets 6k. In all turns, when any Digimon suspend, this Digimon may unsuspend. Then this Digimon may battle one of your opponent's Digimon. So this is a new weird effect. So what this means is if something suspends, you then battle this. So you just compare DPs. Is Vortex Dramon bigger? He will be 20k. Yes, he is. Delete that Digimon. No, when attacking checks, none of that, because you fight Vortex Dramon first, and he circumvents a lot of shit by just battling, skipping attack, right? You're not doing that, and that's all turns when any Digimon suspends. So he can do that in battle shit. On your turn, it'll be really good to just, you swing with him, battle something, get all of your, when you delete something effects, it's just crazy strong. He's the guy. You know, it's not crazy strong. The Dynamon support. So we got a new line for Dynamon. Koromon. When attacking, this Digimon may Digivolve into a card with Tyranno or Dinosaur. No cost reduction. You can just do that. Great. Not even cost reduced by 1? No? Okay. Agumon. On play when moving. One of your opponent's Digimon with, or one of your opponent's Digimon with Tyrannosaur. No. One of your Digimon with Tyrannomon in its name or trait gains Raid and Piercing. That's fine. All turns plus 1k. That's fine. It's, The Tyrannomon. When Digivolving, if you have one of your tamers, you may play a Ryutaro. That's good. We like Digimon that play the tamer and then inherit all turns 1k. Master Tyranno. Security plus 1 and Fortitude. Pretty strong. That's usually a pretty good combo. So if you can swing with this, Digivolve up into Master Tyranno, 2 checks. If he dies, Fortitude. And then what's he do? On play when Digivolving, he may suspend one Digimon. Then, if this Digimon is suspended, it gets plus 4k. That's whatever. And security plus 1 for its inherit. That's fine. Fine. Nothing like to write home about. Dynamon. Security attack plus 1, Fortitude. On play when Digivolving, you may suspend one Digimon, then choose one of each player's Digimon with the highest play cost, delete all others. So you're kind of doing a board clear except for him and something else. And then opponent's turn, while this Digimon is suspended, all of your opponent's Digimon can only attack suspended Digimon. So quite like the old one. Not, I don't know, man. Kind of boring, right? I feel like this line is kind of pack filler. Then we have a 5 cost tamer. So he's a memory setter. When any of your Digimon Digivolve into a level 5 or higher dinosaur, or sorry, Digimon with Tyrannomon or Dinosaur trait by tapping this tamer, you may hatch in the breeding area. After one of your Digimon in the breeding, after that, one of your Digimon in the breeding area may Digivolve into a Digimon card with Tyrannomon in its name or reptile trait without paying the cost. That's good. That's kind of strong, but I feel like if you're not playing him out for this, like on this, you're that 5 costs. I feel like I wanted 5 costs to do maybe a little bit more, but like hatching and digivolving for free is nice, especially if you have like anything else in the back, like a level 3 or 4, you can digivolve that for free, which would be cool. But underwhelming, I think. I think this set is like got some that Zefka shit overwhelming, and then this stuff quite underwhelming. Next, we have the Ice Baby. So we have new baby Hieromon. Your turn. While your opponent has no Digimon with Digivolution cards, this Ice Snow trait Digimon can attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. So you can kind of, not raid because you can just attack into them. And with Ice Clad, you just are deleting Digimon with no sources. You're doing great. If they're playing like something like Demon Lords or Royal Knights, they're gonna get kind of fucked up by this egg. Pretty good egg, to be honest. Penguinmon. He's a searcher on play reveal 3. Add 1 Tamer and 1 Ice Snow trait. Pretty good. And inherit jamming. You can never complain. How many blue rookies do we have now that just say inherit jamming? A lot. Frigimon. Frigimon, when Digivolving, you can play the Tamer if you have 1 or less. And inherit jamming. Right? It's a good keyword to have, I'll say, but and then playing the Tamer also good. Polar Bearmon. Iceclad, on play, when Digivolving, trash any 2 Digivolution cards from your opponent's Digimon, then you may place one of their Digimon with no Digivolution cards as their top or bottom security. So pretty good form of removal, and he has the inherit of giving Sec +1 and Piercing while your opponent has no Digimon with Digivolution cards. So that's really good to pair with this egg, because then you can swing into stuff, pierce, 2 checks, as long as you've been able to mix up the board enough and get rid of all the sources. And then our new Scottymon, Iceclad and Barrier. Cool. On play when Digivolving, when attacking, you may play 1 Tamer or level 4 or lower Ice trait from your hand without paying the cost. And all turns, when other Digimon are played or Digivolve, trash any 3 Digivolution cards from your opponent's Digimon. Then one of their Digimon with no Digivolution cards is stunned. Can't suspend. So this is actually really good. This is actually pretty strong, I think. Like for this deck, I mean, I don't know if it's strong like meta wise, but for this deck, this is a quite good level 6. It's got some keywords that you like. It can trash any 3 sources, so you're very much like picking and choosing what you want to get rid of. It has a I think this is the new best type of, not removal, of interaction. A lot of decks that can do your opponent's Digimon can't suspend, stunning them. So you're getting around any sort of protection they have that like say Medusamon. Medusamon has that level 6 that when you would delete something, delete one of your opponent's Digimon instead. And it's like, okay, I'd rather just stun you. You can't do anything now, and I'm not triggering any of your effects. This is really good against Zefka because you can stun Vortex from, even though he's not affected, you can give him he can't suspend, so then he can't do any of his shit the next turn. He's still going to be a fucking menace and check DP, but I digress. You can at least stun him, and stunning is really good against that deck. And then our Tamer Suzune. Start your main phase. If your opponent has a memory or has a Digimon, gain 1. On play, for each of your Ice Note Digimon, trash any Digivolution card from your opponent's Digimon. So that actually pairs well with this, of like stripping more sources. And all turns, when something trashes from your opponent's Digimon by suspending the Tamer, gain 1. So actually quite a nice Ice Snow package. I don't know if this is... I do know. I'm looking into a crystal ball right now. This is not meta. But this is if you like this deck, this is a good line of support. And I think EX11 does that for a lot of decks. If you like the deck, this is solid. And I also love the art. I just want to... The art through these cards looks really nice. You can see like the whole line through each card. So, love that. Next, Bees. Bees gets a new line. Another novel character, winner. So, Prolomon. Your turn. When face up royal base, straight cards are placed in your security, draw 1. I'll say you don't play this over the other egg, because the other egg just start your turn, play something. You probably want that more. So hopefully the rest is good. Funbee. Give everything reboot in the security, which is good for this deck. That's actually very just strong. And then start your main phase, add your top face down security to your hand. Then you may play 1 royal base trait Digimon from your hand as the face down bottom security. And then DP. Quite a good rookie. Just having a new thing to be doing in security is really good because you have blocker, a lot of DP. Now you're getting reboot. So that's actually not bad. Forge Beamon. Give everything reboot. So we're pairing these two together. They're getting the reboot keyword now. On play, when digivolving, add your top face down security to the hand. Then you may place one royal base straight. So it's literally the exact same, but this is start of main and this is on digivolving. And then they share the same inheritable. Vespamon. Security, give everything blocker. All the level 5s, I think, do that in this archetype. And then on play, when digivolving, for each of your face-up security, you can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Then one of their Digimon or Tamers can't unsuspend. So again, the stunning effects, I think, quite strong. And then all turns, when any of your role-based Digimon would leave battle area other than by your effects by flipping your top face security card face down, one of these Digimon don't leave. So a pretty strong protection effect. And then the Queen Boobymon. Why is she posed like that? What are we doing? What are we doing, Digimon? On play, when Digivolving, when attacking, once per turn, you may place a royal base trait card from your hand or trash face up as the bottom security. Sorry, as the top or bottom security. Then delete up to 8 play cost total of Digimon for each of your security. Add 1. Add 2 to the effect of this play cost. Sorry, the text is like so small, so much. So that's a pretty strong deletion because you 8 play cost total of shit. You can do a couple shit, probably get up to 12 pretty easy. Probably get up to 14 if you're, doing pretty well. I have very 14 play cost worth of shit is probably not a like hard threshold to hit. And when Digivolving when attacking, you may play one card with royal based and its text from your hand for each of your face up securities. Reduce the effect's paid play cost by 1. That's all right. That's because you're reducing by like what 5 maximum, and usually like 3, reducing by 3. You could play rookie. There's no keywords here. The other Queen Bee Young has protection and shit. I like its removal effect. I don't know if I like the rest. I like these, but I don't know if I like this. Which is fine, right? You don't always need to replace the boss monster. So what's the winner do? Another 5 cost. Jesus Christ. If you have 2 or less memory, set it to 3. On play, add your top face down security to your hand. Then you may play one royal base trait Digimon card from your hand face up as the bottom security. So just doing that on play, that's kind of end of your turn. So what are we going to be doing every end? By suspending one of this tamer, one of your royal base trait Digimon gains collision and piercing and attacks. Now the and attacks is pretty good. That's not bad. This winner's pretty good. It might be better than the other one. Because then you have the tamer that's like the cyber sleuth tamer that's good in this deck. You could use this. I can see some potential with this. It's another good, I think, line minus the level 6. I mean, the level 6 could be used, but I feel like the little guys are better. Next, a deck I don't know almost nothing about. The SBO Invisimon shit. So, Kapurimon. When your opponent's face-up security cards increase, draw 1. Imagine you're playing against bees. You're going to love this. Espimon. When moving on play, flip your opponent's top face down security face up. If it didn't, draw 1, gain 1. So your opponent has to have 5 face-up security or whatever, and then you can gain memory. But if not, you're getting your effects ready for later. And I feel like that's good. And another blue... This is in this set. We have 2 rookies, 2 blue rookies that do just say jamming underneath, and the 2 level 4s. Crazy. We can't think of anything better. So Hover SB, what's he do? He plays Tamer. Yep, do the same thing. I've seen that. Oblivimon. Security, end of your opponent's turn, play this card without paying the cost. We're gonna have to zoom in a little bit on this fucker. On play, when digivolving, flip your opponent's your top face down security face up, de-digivolve one of their Digimon. Then, if it's their turn, this Digimon may digivolve into an Invisimon in hand without paying the cost. Your turn, when any of your Digimon check face up security cards, you may place this Digimon's top stacked card face up as the bottom security. So what you're doing is swing with this guy into a face up security. You quickly shuffle him to the bottom of security, finish the check with jamming, And then end of your opponent's turn, you'll play him, and then he can Digivolve into Invisimon. I actually think that's pretty crazy. That card's kind of nuts. And then your turn, this Digimon attack target cannot change. That's great for Machine Dramon. Another one of those. But that's pretty strong. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty strong level 5. Well, what's Invisimon doing? Security, end of your opponent's turn. Play this card without paying the cost, so very similar to the old Invisi. On play when Digivolving, flip your opponent's top face down security card face up and return one of their lowest play cost Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Then this gains Sec +1 until your turn ends. Your turn, when any of your Digimon check face up security, you may place this guy's top stat card at the bottom. Because you'll need that Sec +1, because then you'll be going into this. So you actually can do a really funny combo, I think. If your opponent has 2 face-up security, swing with him. First security, he goes down. You finish the check as this guy. Next check, because he gains Sec +1. He goes into security. Now you're into this. And then at the end of your opponent's turn, you're going to play both of them out. That's pretty good. I don't know if this kind of got the sauce, actually. Then Altea, the Tamer. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain 1. On play, flip your opponent's top face down security face up. And then your turn, when any of your cyborg or machine trait Digimon attack by tapping this Tamer, this Digimon may Digivolve into a cyborg machine in hand for each of your opponent's face up security. Reduce the cost by 1. Ooh. Actually, I think this is quite strong for this deck. I don't know if this is it, and it's going to, like, make people play the deck, but maybe at locals, you can see people running this. I think it's pretty good support. If you're gonna ask me, I don't I don't know if it's there yet, but pretty good. Now he's a punk rocker. Yes, he is. You got the Impmon support. Yaman. This egg is actually pretty cracked, and it looks spooky. That's pretty fucking scary, Yaman. This start your main phase. This Digimon may Digivolve into a Dark Dragon, Evil Dragon, trait Digimon, card and trash, with Digivolution cost reduced by 1. If this effect Digivolve, trash 2 from your hand. So this is a great way to recover in this deck. Pretty much, not recover like recover security, but say you've done all your shit, and then you have a rookie in the back, or level 4, or whatever in the back. You push it up. You don't have a very big hand anymore. You probably don't have any hand. And then this guy can Digivolve you up. And that actually helps with a lot of shit this deck struggles with. We have the Impmon that's ballin'. Start your main phase, trash a card in your hand, gain 1 memory. That can actually combo really well with this. And then at your turn, you get 2k DP. So, actually quite helpful 2 cards here. Punkmon. When attacking, trash 2 cards in your hand. Then, this Digimon may Digivolve into trait, Digimon card in trash with the Digivolution cost reduced by 2. Also, I think this is quite good. Loudmon. On play when Digivolving, trash 2 cards in your hand. Then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as one of your trait Digimon. All turns where you have 4 fewer security. Everybody gains Scapegoat. And then he has the everybody gains security +1 if you have 4 or lower security, which is, I think, all the inheritables of the Loudmon that we have so far. Then we have our new Heavy Metal. On play, when Digivolving, end of attack, so you can do this multiple times in a turn. Trash 2 cards in your hand, and then delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. Then, if you have 4 fewer cards in your hand, you may play a level 5 or lower Evil Dark blah 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 trait from your trash without paying the cost. All turns, when any of your trait Digimon would leave the battle area if you have 4 fewer securities, trash your opponent's security card. And if not, trash it instead, so they're still going to get removed. But you could save them with Scapegoat if you have this guy out. So if you get into him, play this out, everybody has Scapegoat. So they would attempt to delete something. They attempt to delete him, they trash the security, and then you can activate Scapegoat and protect him. That's like in a perfect world. And then we have another SR Tamer, Yuki. Start your main phase on play. Trash 1 card in your hand. Gain 1 memory. Pretty simple. Your turn. When any of your Digimon attack, if you have 4 fewer cards in your hand, it may Digivolve into a trait Digimon in the trash. Cost reduced by 1. And end of all turns, if you have 4 fewer cards in your hand, by tapping this Tamer, you may return a card with trait from your trash to your hand. That's actually the best card this got. This helps fix a lot of shit with this deck. I think this deck still has the big problem of once you get removed, like fully, you're kind of cooked because you've trashed your hand so much. This deck is not like mesh well with the game Digimon that well, but this you're gonna need like 4 of these, 5 of these in the deck, 6 if you can fit them, as many as your opponent doesn't see, because this is the best card in the deck. I mean, for it. This heavy metals, they're good, right? All these cards, I read them and go, that's a good effect, and then it's like, but you just, I don't know. The deck still crumbles under its own weight, and this tamer is really good. The egg is really good, but I don't think that's enough. I think you could definitely bring this to your locals, have some fun. I don't think this is a good deck. But again, not everybody wants that. This is a good new line of support if you like this deck. Next. So that was all the web novel trainers or tamers. Now we have all of our main characters. Every main character got a like new thing, at least maybe 2 new things. So we have 5 rookies. We have a Sunariza. Also, I'll let you know they all have the same effect when moving on play, and then they do something, except for Shumon. I don't know why Shumon has something different, but whatever. Sunariza. When moving on play, trash a card with Mineral Rock trait from your hand or Digivolution sources and then draw one. And then his effect is when this card is trash, draw one. I think that's a pretty good Sunariza, if you ask me. I mean, that seems strong. I like the rock deck, and that seems pretty good. Sangomon, when moving, if you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, draw one. Okay, end of attack, gain a memory. That also seems pretty strong, but this deck I don't think has enough to do shit. But this deck does. Ghostmon, when moving on play, one of your Ghost Digimon gains Retaliate. That's pretty good, especially with Execute, where you can swing into anybody. And then on deletion, gain 1 memory. A pretty good Ghostmon. Elizamon, when moving on play, one of your Digimon with Reptile or Dragonkin gains Raid and 3k. When your opponent's security stack is removed, gain 1. A pretty good Elizamon, actually. Gaining the Raid is, you like that. You like to fucking swing into shit, especially gaining Raid and TP. For the cost of nothing. Pretty good. Because you can even play this off of your big guys, like when you delete something, or when you check a security plays guy, give it raid, and that's pretty strong. Shumon, the odd shoe out. On deletion, you may play a token, the familiar token, which is on deletion minus 3k, and then inherit barrier. I think that's actually quite strong. Inherit barrier for Liberator puppets is pretty good. I mean, they lower security enough, but like it just you're gonna tap everything in that deck. You're gonna be doing a lot of swings with a lot of big wide boards, and having the ability to have barrier to protect them from just getting swung over, I think it's quite strong. Speaking of quite strong, the SR Omekamon, quite good. On play, by placing one Royal Knight trait Digimon from your hand at the bottom of one of your Yggdrasils, draw one. On deletion, if you have one or fewer security, you may play one Omnimon X antibody from under Yggdrasil on the field without playing the cost, then place this card as that Digimon's bottom source. This is a much more fair version of the old Omekamon that does a similar thing, and it's quite good. And I hate the Royal Knight deck. Oh, I hate it. But if they ban that old one, or this is good and this is fine. Also, Royal Knights isn't doing shit right now, so I see people get really worked up about this. That deck is hard countered by a lot of shit right now, so I'm not too worried. I mean, if it gets meta, just bring out Ice Snow and they can obliterate it, and then maybe Ice Snow will be meta. If Royal Knights becomes meta, then the Ice Snow revolution will happen. So then we have new boss monsters for everybody. They're all SRs, so they're all like supposed to be good. Let's see. New Pyramidi, Reboot, and Fragment. Great. On play when Digivolving when attacking, trash any 3 Rock Mineral trait from your Digimon's Digivolution sources, then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest play cost or Tamers. So they have an empty board with just Tamers? Pop a Tamer. That's pretty strong. On all turns, when an effect trashes from this guy's Digivolution cards, you may place 3 Rock Mineral trait cards from your trash under his sources. This guy seems pretty fucking good for Pyramidi. Like that's I feel like this is a replacement to old Pyramides. You're still gonna want to mainly get into magnetic, but any Pyramidi you would run, I was just reading this. It's like is now this. A new Galactimon. On play when Digivolving, choose one of your opponent's highest play cost Digimon, delete all their other Digimon. Then, if this has 4 more Venmon in its Digivolution cards until your opponent's turn ends, it gains a blocker and isn't affected by their effects. So no effects. End of your opponent's turn. This Digimon may Digivolve into a Galactimon in hand or trash, ignoring requirements and paying the cost. So you can combo this on top of this. I've seen funny plays with this. And then he has this assembly, 8 cards with Venmon and text, reduce the cost by 6. They all need to be in the trash, but so you can do some funny shit with this because you can play it on play, Digivolve on play, do all the shit, Digivolve into him again if you have another one, do all the shit. This deck is another. I don't know how strong, but you're gonna want to pick up this. For the fish deck, for Ryugamon, evade, decode, level 5 with trait. On play, when Digivolving, when attacking, by placing one Digimon card with trait from your hand as this guy's bottom Digimon cards, one of your Digimon unsuspends, and then all turns, when an effect adds to this guy's Digivolution cards, return one of your opponent's Digimon with as many or fewer Digivolution cards to the bottom of the deck. So pretty good removal, pretty good keywords. I don't know if that's enough for this deck. I think it wanted like the rock guy in Galacti are like strong. Those are going to be put in those decks. This, I think it's still strong, but don't know if it's strong enough. Necromon, Piercing Execute. On play, when Digivolving, on deletion, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. Then you may play level 4 lower Ghost Trait Digimon from your trash without paying the cost. On deletion, one of your Ghost Trait Digimon may Digivolve into a Ghost Trait Digimon in the hand without paying the cost. So that's quite strong for this deck, because if you go up into him, you're not getting Sec +1 anymore, or any like of that, but you can. I think this is a really good like early game. You do this, go into him first, play a guy out, and then you can Digivolve that guy, and then with the other, tamers and shit, you can give him rush, and you can do a lot of shit. You can do a lot of fun stuff with this. Definitely pick it up for your ghost decks. Medusamon, rush and progress. When Digivolving, end of attack, you may delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this. Then, by returning one card from your opponent's trash to the bottom of the deck, play a Petrification token. Great, which the token's on deletion, trash your top security. Then all turns, when this Digimon will leave the battle area, by deleting one token, it doesn't leave. And that's infinity. That's not once per turn. So if you can give your opponent multiple tokens, great. If your opponent's playing Diabora or puppets, go fuck yourself. I'm never leaving. That's pretty strong. A pretty strong Medusamon. I still think you probably want to mix it up with some of the other Medusamons, especially the one that plays 2 tokens to just get tokens on the field. But I feel like you definitely sought this in. Now Tamers. Everybody gets a new Tamer. Close. Start your main phase. Trash a trait card from your hand or Digimon's Digivolution cards, gain 1. Your turn. When any of your Digimon are played or Digivolve, if any of them have trait, by tapping this Tamer, you may place a traded card from your hand or trash as the bottom source. Really strong for the deck. I feel like that's crazy strong for this deck. Xeno. Isn't this Zenith? Oh, he also treated as Zenith. I was like, why did he change his name? I don't know. I haven't kept up with the comic. Don't know why Blood's dressed like this, but whatever. Start your main phase. On play, trash one card with Vemmon in its text from your hand. Draw 1, gain 1. Pretty good. All turns, when your Digimon are played or Digivolve, if any of them have Vemmon in text, by tapping this Tamer, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, place all Vemmon among them to the bottom guy's source, trash the rest. I don't know how good that second effect is. I feel like you gotta get a little lucky with that. Is there ways to manipulate your stack, like your deck in this? I don't know. This is a deck I don't know about. Is that good? Tell me in the comments. We have a Yao. Start your main phase by, oh my god, lots of text. By placing one level 5 or lower card with Aqua or Sea Animal in any of its traits, the bottom Digivolution card of one of your trait Digimon, gain a memory. That seems pretty good. When your Digimon are played or Digivolve, if any of them have trait, by tapping the Tamer, draw 1. If played by Decode, one of your opponent's Digimon can't suspend until they. Ooh, that's good. I feel like that's like a pretty strong Tamer for this deck. You can definitely see that being run. That's interesting. Violet. This deck is... Oh my god, please show me the card. There we go. Start your turn. Memory Setter. Okay. Your turn. When any of your Ghost Digimon attack by tapping this tamer, draw one and trash one in your hand. If attacking by Execute, it may Digivolve into a... Oh! Okay, it may Digivolve into a Ghost Digimon with the cost reduced by 2. That's crazy. Because you can now execute with your Phantomons, and then for a cost of 1, go into Necromon, and you be doing shit. Now you be cooking now. Oh, the Tamer Space Index deck is tight though. I don't know where you're gonna. I guess you replace. You just replace the old Memory Setter, but you don't play that many. That's a good card. Owen, start of your main phase. Memory Setter. All turns. When your Digimon are played or Digivolve, if any of them have Reptile, draw one, and then after one of your Digimon with progress gets 3k. Is that good? The draw one, pretty good, and you're tapping this Tamer. So that can activate your emblems and gaining DP. No, that's pretty good. Took me a second, but I'm like, yeah. That is pretty good because it's an easy tamer to tap for the emblem. Cool Boy. On play, reveal top 3, add a card with Omeka or Omnimon X and a Royal Knight or Liberator. Main, by returning this tamer at the bottom of the deck, you may play a 4-cost or higher Royal Knight or Liberator from your hand with the play cost reduced by 2. I don't know about this. It seems... can you combo this with the like Yggdrasil reduction? Or are you just using this to play like Omekamons? Let me know. I don't actually know on that. This is another deck. I don't like it, so I don't know much about it. Don't know if that's good. And then another SR Tamer. Arisa. Arisa is a memory setter. When any of your tokens or puppet trait Digimon are deleted by tapping this tamer, draw one. If deleted by overclock, you may play level 4 puppet trait Digimon card from your hand without paying the cost. That's cracked for the deck. First off, this deck needs more draw power. So just having an easy tamer to tap to draw one. Love that. Second, that you're going to be deleting shit way overclock, and then you get to play out more shit. That's really good. This Arisa's good. So the Liberator web comic gang, they're pretty fair, but they, it's just level 3s, level 4, and then the bosses and some tamers. So not the most exciting stuff, but they each got a little bit just to show you they're there. Now we did miss this, so it's here. I don't know. I should have placed this before. Another web novel character gets her line, but no egg. So the new Hanimon, on deletion. If deleted other than in battle, you may play a Shumon from your hand without paying the cost. And then opponent's turn, when any of your opponent's Digimon attack by deleting one of your Digimon, stop the attack. That's pretty good. You don't like max out on this, I feel like, in the puppet deck. And now you can you can really go 2 different ways with the puppet deck. But this is an interesting rookie because you'd probably want to play mainly Shumons and then a couple of these to just, puppets likes deleting their shit and then keeping shit on board, but like, replacing it. So Kokeshimon, it's the play a tamer one, but now you can play Mirai's. And then it has the opponent's turn, delete one of your Digimon to end their attack. Karakurumon, Scapegoat, it's fine. And then on play when Digivolving, you may play a 4-cost or 4 DP or less from your trash without paying the cost, and at the turn end, delete that Digimon. And then this has the puppet protection. When this Digimon will leave battle area other than by your effects, delete one of your tokens or other puppet trait Digimon, and it doesn't. So this is good to trigger effects by like you play something and then it's gonna get deleted, and that'll trigger like the old Kaguya or just other things, or it doesn't matter that you played it because you can overclock it and then delete, but the other Karakurumon's still better. It is just better. So I don't know how many of these you played. That's going to be a deck with it just too much overflowing with cards. And the new Kaguya. Alliance, Scapegoat. So having built-in Alliance is pretty good. When Digivolving, end of your opponent's turn, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. All turns, when other Digimon are deleted, you may play a level 4 lower puppet trait card from your trash without paying the cost. So if you do this, play the puppet out, do this. When it deletes, it's going to play it right back. So if it's the good Shumon or the good Shumon, you're going to play 2 tokens. I still think Other Kagi is better because it gives everything blocker and lets you be a little more defensive. But I digress. Mirai. Start of your turn. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain a memory. Your turn, when any of your Digimon digivolve into a puppet trait Digimon by tapping this tamer, you may play a level 3 puppet trait card from your hand without paying the cost. At the end of turn, delete that Digimon. That's really good off of this, because then you can play it, delete it, play a Shumon, or just play a Shumon. It's also good to just fill up your board. I feel like this is a pretty decent Mirai, especially that you can now play them off of this. This is also making me realize I didn't talk about this. I went, Senderilmon. Alliance, overclock, so built-in alliance. On play, when digivolving, you may play a level 4 puppet from your hand without paying the cost. Then you may play 1 familiar token for each of your opponent's Digimon. And then, when digivolving and attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3k for each of your Digimon. I wanted to talk about this. I don't know how I missed this, because this is so crazy. It's now the best Sendrilmon. Every time you attack, you're giving a big minus. And if your opponent has a wide board, oh boy, you're getting a fucking million tokens. Pretty strong. Boom. Mequenamon, the new, you can play up to 50 copies of this bad boy in your deck. So Flickmon, the baby, is a white one that Digivolve, so that's new. When attacking this Digimon, if this Digimon is linked with Mequenamon, it may Digivolve into a Digimon card with Mequenamon in text in the hand for the cost reduced by 2. So Mequenamon is a link that on play, reveal top 3, add a Mequenamon and a Mequenamon in text, return the rest of the bottom. And then it can link for 2 when this Digimon would leave the battle area by placing one of its link cards at the bottom Digivolution source. It doesn't leave. So a really strong protection effect. And you'll see that this deck has many, many ways to put this from its sources back to its link. So it also has 2 distinct lines, a black line and a green line, because it's a DNA deck. So we have Mulemon. On play when Digivolving, you may link a Mequenamon from your hand or this guy's sources, and then without paying the cost. Then, when you do that, you can play an Unchained, which is the Tamer, from your trash or hand. Strong. Termomon, similar thing. You can link a Mequenamon from your hand or Digivolution cards without paying the cost, and then when you do that, you can play an Unchained from your hand or trash. The difference is, this is a reboot, and this is a Pierce. Mockingbirdmon. On play when Digivolving, you can play Mequenamon for your hand or this guy's sources without paying the cost. When they get played, they link. So then when this Digimon gets linked, delete a 5 cost or less. And then it has the inherit of during your opponent's turn, when your opponent's Digimon attacks, you can switch it to this Digimon. The other level 5, when it does a very similar thing of play a Mequenamon from your hand or this Digimon's links, and then when this Digimon gets linked, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then one of their Digimon can't unsuspend until their turn ends, which is quite strong. All turns when this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle, you can unsuspend. Great. Now the level 6s. They're both SRs, so this is going to be an expensive deck because it's SR secret rare. Metromon. It is a blocker on play when Digivolving when attacking. Digivolve too. Ooh. One of your opponent's Digimon, then one of their Digimon or Tamers can't Digivolve. Great. End of turn. One of your other Digimon may Digivolve into a green Digimon card with Mequenamon and its text in hand without paying the cost. And then all turns when an effect adds to this guy's Digivolution cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon at the lowest play cost. Dalphomon. It has Vortex. On play when Digimon when attacking, suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, then one of their Digimon or Tamers can't unsuspend. Really strong. End of your turn, one of your other Digimon may Digivolve into the opposite one. So these are used to Digivolve, like the level 5s, into the other one. So then you can activate Unchain's effect to end of turn DNA. They also have Assembly, so you can play these for less. Quite good. Now, let's look at the secret rare. Security attack +1, blocker link +2. So you can link 3 Mequenamons for that insane protection 3 times. Crazy. When Digivolving, if DNAing, you may link up to 3. So if you don't have any linked, link up to 3 without paying the cost. And then end of your opponent's turn for each of the Digimon's links, trash their top security and return one of their Digimon to the bottom of the deck. So if they don't attempt to remove this guy at all and keep all 3 links, you pitch 3 security and get rid of 3 bodies. Crazy. Then Unchained. It's a memory setter. End of turn 2, your Digimon may Digivolve into an EX Mequinamon. And then Mind Link. In Mind Link, your Digimon can't have less than 1,000 DP, and you can't trash any cards, so you can't de-Digivolve. And end of your turn, you can play it out. So it's crazy. If you can get into this, you're kind of winning. But the struggle is getting into that. The Mequinamon deck is looking quite good. I'd say right off the rip. Having 2 lines that can easily DNA into this big Mamma Jamma with a tamer that gives you protection from the things you'd be weak against, like the Digivolve and minus DP. It's going to be a tricky body to get around. I could see this deck actually doing pretty well. Not gonna lie. Pretty well, TBH. Not gonna lie. We'll see. I'm excited for this. It's also very easy to build just by buying the set. I mean, as long as you get the cards you need. So it depends on how expensive this is going to be. We'll see. Next. This set gave 3 web novel exclusive characters, tamers, that help bad decks. So first, Aruba is a memory setter, and he is the Lusamon tamer. On play, one of your Digimon Lusamon in its text. On the field, may Digivolve into a Digimon card with Lusamon in its name. In hand or trash without paying the cost. Your turn, when any of your Digimon Digivolve, gain a memory. So he's very, very strong for this deck. You can Digivolve into, your big Lusamons without paying the cost by just dropping him down. Then you're gaining memory every time you're doing this. So every time you're Digivolving into a Lusamon, you gain a memory, which now reduces how much you're going to be passing. Quite a very helpful tamer for that deck. For the composite, what's his name, Millenniumon deck, on play, starter main, we have, Chitose. Not the bad Chitose, not the evil Chitose. We have this other Chitose. Start your main on play, trash a composite, Wicked God, trade a card from your hand, draw 1, gain 1. Pretty strong. When any of your composite or Wicked God trait Digimon are deleted, by tapping this tamer, you may play a Gazi or Giza from your hand without paying the cost. That's alright. I think the first effect is better. It's just gaining memory every turn by trashing and drawing. Helps you cycle through your deck, helps you get the shit you want in trash. And then finally, Arena is the NSO tamer. Start your main phase on play by trashing an NSO trait card, draw 1, gain 1. Great. All turns, when any of your NSO trait Digimon are deleted, by tapping this tamer, one of your NSO trait Digimon may Digivolve. May DNA Digivolve with one of the cards in hand. Oh, that's pretty strong. That's actually really strong for NSO. So you can, swing, delete, use a card in hand instead, and DNA up into your big guy. That's pretty good. I'd say this is a really good one, actually. All these tamers, if you like these decks, which I like NSO, I might bring out an NSO deck list now when I get this. So I also want to talk about, I just want to take a second. Look at these. These big SPs look so nice, They're manga rares. But what I want to point out is that these are poser cards, because the Digimon Liberators comes from a web novel, or a web comic, and it is not a manga. So you can say this is just everybody says these are manga rares. They're not. They're like black and white stills from the comic. So don't get it twisted. Don't say manga. These aren't manga. Just because they're Japanese doesn't mean they're manga. Because they're not. Even I said it earlier in the video. They're not. And finally, I just want to talk about each of the novel characters gets a unique emblem. And what makes these ones unique is they're bad. And these are box topper promos. So they all do the same thing. So I'll just read one of them. Reveal top 3. Add a deck specified trait and a Liber specified trait from the search to hand. And then when any of the specific tamer is played, you can delay Digivolve into a level 6 or lower Liberator in the hand or trash. Cost reduced by 3. Well, this one's the only one in trash. Everything else is hand. But cost reduced by 3. They're much worse than the other Liberator cards because you have to play a Tamer to activate them. I just feel like the emblems, the other emblem, I don't know why they like fuck these guys over and just didn't give them the normal emblem. It feels very weird. It feels mean, honestly. So, I mean, I'm sure if you play these decks, you're going to play these cards just because they will help. They're a good search for 2. But when are you going to play playing the Tamer? Playing the Tamer is going to cost 3 unless you only have 1 Tamer on board or less, and you can use the level 4s that play Tamer. Then you can do some shit, and that's going to be your best use case. But it feels real mean-spirited to give them just worse emblems. But with that, that is EX11, Dawn of the Liberator. I think it's got some cool shit. If you like the Liberator decks, which I've been praising since they came out, been like, oh my god, Liberator stuff, it's so fun. Here is what I think is the big grand finale. It's got the cool EX McQuenamon Evil DNA deck. You know, Zefka gets, finally, it's going to be meta and relevant. Everybody at least gets something. Even characters you've never even seen get something. They don't even get Digimon, they get Tamer. So, thank you all for watching. This has been EX11. I think it's quite an interesting set with a lot of stuff that if you even like one of the Liberator decks, you should pick it up. If you like the meta, you know, I feel like McQuenamon and Zefka are the biggest threats coming from this. And, you know, I think Medusa and Rocks get shit, but I think those decks are already meta, so it's not like it's raising them any higher. They're just staying around. But Zefka and McQuenna are getting big, big stuff. And everything else is fun. Like, I'm really excited for the puppet stuff. The Ice Snow stuff looks interesting. But we'll see. You know, we will see. Only time will tell. But with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.